Hi, it's Maureen Muldoon, and we are here with Lesson 96 of A Course in Miracles. Salvation comes from my one self. And the lesson says, although you are one self, you experience yourself as two, as both good and bad, loving and hating, mind and body. This sense of being split into opposites induces feelings of acute and constant conflict and leads to frantic attempts to reconcile the contradictory aspects of this self-perception. So this is just a perception. It's not true. You experience yourself as this doesn't actually mean that it's true. The truth is you are holy. You have sought many such solutions to heal this conflict, and none of them have worked. The opposites you see in you will never be compatible, but only one exists. The fact that truth and illusions cannot be reconciled, no matter how you try, what means you use, and where you see the problem, must be accepted if you would be saved. Until you have accepted this, you will attempt an endless list of goals you cannot reach, a senseless series of expenditures of time and effort, hopefulness and doubt, each one as futile as the one before and failing as the next one surely will. So it's saying you're perceiving a problem, and then you're going about trying to solve the problem from the space of seeing the problem. So, like Einstein said, we're trying to solve the problem at the level of the problem. There is no problem. There is no conflict. There is no conflict. You are holy. Problems that have no meaning cannot be resolved within the framework they are set. Two selves in conflict cannot be resolved, and good and evil have no meeting place. Good and evil have no meeting place. That's a really important idea. The self you made can never be yourself, nor can yourself be split in two and still be what it is and must forever be. A mind and body cannot coexist. Make no attempt to reconcile the two, for one denies the other can be real. If you are physical, your mind is gone from your self-concept, for it has no place in which it can be really part of you. If you are spirit, then the body must be meaningless to your reality. So often we say that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience for a temporary time. And then we go back to recognizing ourselves as really only physical, and our bodies and our personalities and our titles and our identifiers. When you're staring up at the sun and you try and attempt to stare right at it, there's no images and there's no forms. There's only light. And that's actually the truth of you. You are pure light, who has taken on this experience of being in a confined state of being in this body. And that's okay. It's a temporary thing. But if you insist on recognizing yourself as a body, you're going to continue to have the conflicting ideas of who am I? Who am I? Spirit makes no use of mind as means to find its self-expression. And the mind which serves the spirit is at peace and filled with joy. The mind that's filled with spirit is at peace and filled with joy. Its power comes from spirit, and it is fulfilling happily its function here. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit and perceive itself within a body it confuses with itself. Without its function, then it has no peace. A Course in Miracles says that our function is to be happy. And can that be enough? And most of our happiness is not happiness at all, but conditional requests that have or have not been met. I'm happy because I have this house. I'm happy because I have this job. Or I will be happy when I have this house or have this job. But happiness is a consistent state of your reality, and you could choose it anytime you want without conditions. Yet mind apart from spirit cannot think. It has denied its source for strength and sees itself as helpless, limited, and weak. Disassociated from its function now, it thinks it is alone and separate, attacked by armies, massed against itself and hiding in the body's frail support. Now must it reconcile unlike with like, for this is what it thinks that it is for. So as long as we think that we're in this body and identifying with this body, We're going to waste a lot of time trying to reconcile that limitless experience and expression that wants to move through us with ourselves. And a good example of it is many times you'll see an artist or a musician create music and then say, I made this. When the truer idea is, this was made through me and I got to experience this. And so as long as we claim that authorship, we place ourselves in these bodies and in these identifiers. It's a really hard habit to break, and I'm not saying that I've actually broken it, because I like to take credit for the things that God made through me. But it would give us a greater peace if we detached ourselves from any blame or fame. So to say, I'm not to blame for any of this, and I'm not to credit for any of this. Just is. It just is. As I just am, as God just is. And you don't even have to put the just in. Waste no more time on this. Who can resolve the senseless conflicts with a dream of present? What could the resolution mean in truth? What purpose could it serve? What is it for? Salvation cannot make illusions real, nor solve a problem that does not exist. Perhaps you hope it can, yet would you have God's plan for the release of His Son bring pain to Him and fail to set Him free? Yourself retains its thoughts, and they remain within your mind and in the mind of God. The Holy Spirit holds salvation in your mind, and it offers it the way to peace. Salvation is a thought you share with God, because His voice accepted it for you and answered in your name that it was done. Thus is salvation kept among the thoughts yourself holds dear and cherishes for you. We will attempt today to find this thought, whose presence in your mind is guaranteed by Him who speaks to you from your one self. Our hourly 5-minute practicing will be a search for Him within your mind. Salvation comes from this one self through Him, who is the bridge between your mind and it. Wait patiently, let Him speak to you about yourself and what your mind can do, restore to it and free to serve its will. Begin with saying this: salvation comes from my one self, its thoughts are mine to use, and then seek its thoughts and claim them as your own. These are your own real thoughts you have denied, and let your mind go wandering in a world of dreams to find illusions in their place. Here are your thoughts, the only ones you have. Salvation is among them. Find it there. So it's just simply saying in a very poetic way, like, turn within, go to your divine, ask to listen to its grand plan, allow yourself to be used in the orchestration of the grand plan, and experience the peace that is your inheritance. If you succeed, the thought that comes to you will tell you you are saved and that your mind has found the function that it sought to lose. Yourself will welcome it and give it peace. Restored in strength, it will again flow out from Spirit to the Spirit in all things created by Spirit as itself. Now that's a beautiful idea. Once you connect with this divine peace, it flows from you to all things, connecting to the divine peace in those things, and in that way you are in consistent Holy Communion. Your mind will bless all things. Confusion done, you are restored, for you have found yourself. Yourself knows that you cannot fail today. Perhaps your mind remains uncertain yet a little while, but be not dismayed by this. The joy yourself experiences, the joy yourself experiences, it will save for you, and it will yet be yours in full awareness. Every time you spend 5 minutes of the hour seeking Him who joins your mind and self, you offer Him another treasure to be kept for you. Each time today you tell your frantic mind salvation comes from your one self, you lay another treasure in your growing store, and all of it is given everyone who asks for it, and it will accept the gift. Think then how much is given unto you to give this day, that it be given to you. So again, like every lesson, we don't do this just for ourselves. We do it because it is connects us to all things, and that is how we demonstrate that we are lights in the world, not in the body. And so practice, enjoy, you're capable of this. God bless. I love you.